Welcome to another episode of Lux Saigon. Kalvis and Nick are at it again, this time discussing chapters 7 and 8 of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Organized planning and decision. When you make plans, do you worry about them being perfect before taking action? If you do, we know how you feel. It happens sometimes. We are all improving the skill of making a move with the information that we have. This takes faith. We hope this episode is helpful for our listeners.
Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to the next chapter, our next review of Think and Grow Rich with my bro Kalvis. Yo, now we're in chapters 7 and 8, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Dude, right now I'm reviewing 2 books and I'm about to start a 3rd one, so I'm getting all my chapters mixed up.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Okay, nice, dude. So,
Which other books are you reading, by the way?
oh yeah. So I'm reviewing Waking Up by Sam Harris. I'm reviewing that or discussing that with my friend Grant. He's over in Australia right now.
Oh,
And
I met him.
yeah, you met him. Yeah, that's right. And the book 8 Rules of Love, right? By Jay Shetty. Yeah,
Oh,
8 Rules of Love.
okay.
And I'm gonna review that with my uncle. He's in San Francisco right now. Like he just read he just read like half of that book like a boss, and like so he's waiting for me to finish reading that part, and then we can do a discussion on that.
Awesome. How about Atomic Habits? Weren't you reading that as well?
Dude, I read part of that in the past, and I stopped in the chapter where I talked about identity shift, because I was just like I was learning that same thing in spirituality books. So I was like, whoa, there's an overlap here, like identity choosing and stuff.
Yeah, the thing is about books, you don't necessarily have to read every single page and all
That's
that.
true.
Like
That's true.
Sometimes just a little bit. Like yesterday at work, like I had a little bit of time. I read actually Atomic Habits, just like a page or two. And there was something about habits, about just changing one little thing. You could like completely like change your,
I
life
believe that.
basically. I was like, okay. It basically also talks about in the book, just 1% change can change a lot of things. So
Dude,
I kind of applied something that day, and my fucking evening was like so amazing. I was like, bro,
dude,
like I did well. So
that's like the
but consistency is key, of course.
exactly.
But yeah,
That's like a snowball
yeah.
effect, right?
Yes. So yeah, so it's good to read. Yeah.
Dude, yeah.
Readers are leaders.
Dude, and like the fun insight I want to share today is that like it feels like every self-development book is the same book from a different perspective. So like you just have to choose like what is relevant to you right now, and then just read whatever chapter in that book is relevant to you. And that's the best way to consume self-development content.
Correct. Yes. Well, yeah, reading is good though.
Yeah, that's good for you. Okay, so the organized planning chapter, it made it made me like feel so much procrastination in myself. It's like, I don't want to plan all of that shit. It's like I could feel that like I could feel that feeling appearing, like, man, I don't want to go through all that. I just want to get the goods.
Yes, I completely understand. I think this is the chapter that's kind of quote unquote the boring chapter in a way. Maybe not really. There's some actually practical tips, but especially back in the day, like finding jobs, like how to write your resume, how to write your motivation letter, where to apply, and also like yearly assessments that you could do in yourself, like there's 30 questions you can ask each year. So
Yeah.
kind of interesting. It has a lot of like details, and I'm also the type of person who's probably not the most organized. So it's interesting to go.
I mean, yeah, we're all working on improving that. It's all Gucci.
That's for sure. Yes.
So for the organized planning to work, he needs some things to be set in place first, right? Like you need your desire that has
Right.
to be clear, right? You need a deadline.
Mhm. Right,
Because I
right,
think
right. From ChatGPT, yeah.
yeah, I think Napoleon Hill said like a goal with no deadline is just a dream.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
you need the desire to be clear, like the goal, the deadline, what resources you need. Right? This could be either money or time or skills or whatever, right? Just what do you need to achieve your goal?
Mm-hmm.
Make a plan, break it into
Mm-hmm.
small, manageable steps, and then take action.
And follow the plan.
Yeah.
And also they talk about so yeah, from chapter 7, basically you have to combine with chapter 2. You have to go back to chapter 2, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So first is like, again, the 6 steps. Like if you're listening to this, then and you also want to think and grow rich. I also did this recently. Go through these 6 steps and go from there. So step number 1 is, again, fix how much money you want to achieve, like how much money you want to reach, right?
Mm,
So that's step number 1, how much money you want to get. Then number 2, so what are you going to do in return for that money? Uh,
mm,
and it can be like something that you already know, but maybe you could kick your intuition and figure some things out later.
mm,
But basically, kind of have an idea of what you're going to give in return, because there's no such thing as getting without giving, you know, sowing without reaping. I mean, yeah, basically,
mm.
reaping without sowing. So again, so number 1's how much money you want. Number 2, what are you going to give in return? Okay, you can write it down. Maybe pause this video, write it down, uh, or read in a book, chapter 2, the 6 steps. Okay, step number 3 is what's the date you want to achieve the goal? So maybe it's in 2 years from now, 3 years, maybe 5 years from now. Okay, and then number 4 is create a plan, right? Specific plan. Begin at once. And number 5 is then write out like a clear plan, your goal, how much money, what are you going to do in return, and read it out loud twice a day. And number 6 is
Mm.
also basically visualize yourself already achieving that goal. But yeah, basically have a goal, set your time, and still read it out twice a day. And then organized planning talks about like a specific plan uh, in order to achieve that goal. And it also talks about the importance of mastermind again, which you're going to discuss in later chapters as well. So mastermind is like when 2 or more people like meet maybe on a weekly basis and talk about basically their goals and what they want to achieve. So you want some people that you can trust, you kind of resonate on a similar level, you want to achieve like more in life. And so he talks about 2 minds together, they can create like a third mind or something like that, and you can get to a different level. And it's important to have like your plan and maybe discuss the plan with, you know, people that you can trust, mastermind, and they can maybe navigate your plan, maybe give you some tips, maybe some things that you didn't see before. So yeah.
Dude, now I know why I felt like kind of lazy about this chapter, and it's because the part where it says develop a plan, right? Like develop a plan
Mm-hmm.
for action. Because my mind is thinking like, what if I don't develop a good enough plan? But
Mm-hmm.
but actually it doesn't have to be perfect, right? Like because probably as you take action towards your like within your action plan, you might
Yeah.
realize that you might see that you have to actually adjust a few things and like readjust the plan and the goal. So it's gonna change anyways. But like
Mm.
I felt so worried
Right.
about having the perfect plan in the beginning, but maybe that's just impossible.
Right. 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 Well, yeah. Uh, or as I say, everybody has a plan, and like until you get punched in the face. I think Mike Tyson said
Right.
that. So
Then
what happens?
comes
You have a plan, and then life throws punches at you, and then
yeah.
you have to readjust.
Like if you don't have persistence, then you're kind of screwed.
Oh yes, yes, yeah, yeah. In this chapter, they talk about persistence too,
Yeah.
having the persistence to pursue the plan as
So
well.
actually, you know, I'm really glad we're having this podcast episode right now because I didn't have that insight before just this moment right now. So like
Right.
when you develop the plan, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just try your best and then try it out and then adjust whatever you have to adjust. Or maybe it's even possible that like someone already has an action plan for the thing you want to do, so you can try theirs and see how it works for you and then make adjustments.
Correct.
As long as you just take some action. And if you're okay with like screwing up sometimes, because it's gonna happen, right? If you're okay with failing sometimes, or just like redefining the meaning of failure, then it's gonna be
Correct.
easier. It's gonna be easier to try again and persevere and get hit in the face and then try again, right?
Right. Right. Well, yeah, it kind of goes with the chapter 8 as well, like decision about there's basically two types of people, and Napoleon Hill, he studied like 25,000 people again. I guess he studied both success and failures for 25 years. And
Right.
one major thing why people quote unquote failed, maybe it's a temporary failure, but maybe it's not temporary. Who knows? If you like, fail many times, who knows? But basically, one thing that was in common for those people was the lack of like basically indecisiveness. So lack of decision making. Like if they make any decision, they take really, really long time. And that kind of resonates with me because I'm kind of indecisive person as well, like in my life. At times I'm like, oh, should I study, like back in the day as a student, I was like, should I study this? Should I study that? Or, you know, what I'm gonna do in the future, should I go here? Should I go here? Should I apply for this job? Should I apply for this job? Should I don't know, do this or that? Like, and it talks about the importance to just make decisions quickly, but changing them slowly instead of like making decision if you're making a decision taking forever to make a decision and then quickly changing the decision, you know. So you have to like just, I don't know, be that focus and just decide on something and just take action, you know.
And like, doesn't it also like seem like in order to make quick decisions, you have to know exactly what you want. Then it's super
Yeah, it
clear.
starts with desire. Yeah,
Then it's super clear like when you make adjustments, it's like, oh, it's obvious I gotta do this. And then you just do that.
right.
Because like even okay, like thinking of myself when I was in high school, I had no idea what to major in, right? I just wrote I was like astronomy. I like planets and stuff. Like I don't know. Like yeah, I didn't even know like what I wanted to major in until much later. And
Yeah,
there's
same.
and there was a really big difference in my academic career before knowing what to study and then afterwards. It's like two different people.
Right. So what was the difference?
About those two people.
Yeah, so when you knew what you're gonna study and when you didn't know.
Like when I didn't know what to study and I would go to school, I only enjoyed music class, art class, PE, lunch, and creative writing. It was only everything else I didn't care about. I just tried not to fail.
Okay.
Yeah. But then after I realized like, oh, actually I want to study political science, which is so weird because my senior year in high school, I hated government class. That was the class I hated the most. But
Okay.
eventually I realized, oh, actually I want to major in political science. And then like for the first time ever, I actually studied for stuff. Like
Okay.
I realized I was good at like yeah, like reading the content and remembering, like, and I was getting good grades in tests. I was like, oh shit, I think I'm actually good at something in school. This is so weird.
Okay. That's nice. That's nice. Once you
Yeah.
decide what you study, you're better at it. Right? You're not just drifting around. Yeah.
Right. And that major was meaningful for me in that moment. So like I was happy to go to class and study and learn the stuff and take the test. Like I was having a good time. Like basically it like university became a mastermind for me because like we're all studying the same thing together, like so many of us. And also traveling too. Like we traveled to Berlin, Dubai, and Saigon. So that's how I ended up in
Yeah.
Saigon. That's why I'm here
That's
right now,
right. That's
bro.
right. Exactly. I remember you told me about it. You together with Max and a couple other
Yeah,
people, right?
yeah,
Cool
Max was there
class.
too.
Yeah, shout
Yeah,
out to Max.
yeah, yo, Max, we'll get you here really soon. Yeah, Max was my roommate during that trip.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and we had our first milk coffee at Phuc Long, the one on Macton Chi Street.
Yes. Book long. Yes, it's a
That was that
famous
was
coffee shop.
that was my first Vietnamese milk coffee ever, and like, and all of us that we tried it, we were like, "Hey, do you feel high right now?" Or like, "Yeah, I feel kind of weird."
Yeah, it's like heroin here, basically.
Coffee is so strong, but now we
Famous
have like
coffee.
2 cups a day or more.
Well, maybe you, but me, it's
Ah,
like,
really?
uh, dude, it's a lot. But yeah, it depends. But yeah, anyway.
I try to
Uh,
limit to just one. I think one is enough.
right. Yeah, I just microdose in coffee here and there. But anyway, like, any ideas how to get better at organized planning, I guess, because that's also like a thing I'm
Man,
still
okay, that's a good
figuring
question
out.
because it seems like the answer is like number one, of course, choose what you want, of course, but also like it has to be something. This is so crazy, right? It has to be something that you would like give your life for.
Mm.
Yeah, that something that you feel you have to experience in this lifetime, and you would sacrifice energy and time and stuff to make that happen. It would have to be that.
Right. In my case, for sure, like if I want to do something in life, it has to be something where I'm looking forward to it. I'm happy. I'm not just like, oh, I'm gonna get rich, this amount of money, and now I have to sell my soul. Now it's like, I have to do this and do this business, which I'm actually not even care at all. It has to be
Yeah.
something that I'm excited about,
Oof.
and then it's also easier to plan, right? You
Mm.
can decide which direction you want to go, and then, okay, so I want to do this, and this in my daily life, and so it's easier to plan once you decide the goal. Right?
Mm. And like I know we're gonna get to sexual transmutation later, right?
Oh yeah,
But it
I'm
feels like
excited.
that it feels like this could be connected to that topic too, because like it's like decide what you want, and ideally that thing that you want I don't know if I'll edit this out or not, but it's like you'd be willing to give up corn. I mean, not corn, but you know,
So,
that
well,
you'd
yeah,
that you'd be willing to give that up for this goal to happen.
or basically be celibate to
Sure.
work towards. I mean, if it helps, right? At least in the short term, I don't know how long can you do that for, but it can definitely be helpful. Uh, and we'll definitely discuss that chapter later. I think
Mm.
that's one of the most intriguing chapters for sure.
Mm.
But yeah, yeah.
It's like, would could you be celibate for 1 year if that would help you, I don't know, like have your dream life?
Mm-hmm. Right. Instead of focusing that energy towards the opposite sex, or maybe
Mm.
same sex, whatever case you may be, uh, you could focus it towards your goals. But I don't necessarily think you have to be like extreme and be celibate for like a year. Although it could
Mm.
maybe help in some instances, but to be celibate at least in a period of time, it definitely help. Uh,
So how much
yeah.
time?
Otherwise, uh, maybe at least like a couple, like even 1 week would be quite good. Actually, like the research shows, we're gonna talk about later again on this sexual transmission topic, but the research shows that basically this no nut thing, like if you don't do it for like a week, your testosterone basically is the same, and then it spikes at day 7, and then it goes back to normal. So I experienced myself as well
But how does that
earlier.
affect my like my planning and like the action plan and stuff?
Uh, well, there's a saying that there's some fighters that didn't like do anything sexually before fights, I think Mike Tyson also practiced that, but actually later he said that he regretted it. I think it's
Yeah.
interesting.
Why did he
I think
regret it?
he basically mentioned he was celibate for like 5 years and he regretted it.
Ah.
Anyway, he was the best in the world, so who knows if it like worked or not. But the thing about the 7 is like basically in 7 days your testosterone peaks, at least in terms of us guys. Maybe for girls it's different. So I actually you can really feel on day 7 like really productive and really like powerful. But on next day you just feel like back to normal. So I don't know, maybe you just do it once a week or something. And then you can do the 7 days. Or like I don't know, a couple times. Whatever. But you just
Yeah, I
have
don't
to
know. I think just choose one and try it out.
I guess if you have like a desire that you really want to go for, just I don't know, just try put all your energy in it and just see what happens. You know.
Like today, like when I feel some kind of craving like that, I'll ask myself like, okay, what do I want? What do I want more right now? Do I want this craving fulfilled, or do I want my dream life? And that's like that's like my struggle this week. That's like, God, what if you had to choose one? Which one would you choose? Like, God.
Can't you have both? Can't you have the dessert and achieve your
I
goal?
wish, right? I wish. The problem is this. The only problem is that when you satisfy the craving, it feels good, right? And then when you feel good already, then your brain is like, well, I mean, there's no need to go for my dream life. I feel good right now. And then that starts the procrastination. It's like, why do I have to do all the effort to do that to feel good when I can just feel good right now?
Right.
So then
But it's crazy how much energy, thought, and input we put into this, activity. Even Elon Musk talked about it. Like we do it like way too much time
yeah. But I mean,
doing sex and all that.
yeah.
Imagine putting all that energy to something productive. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Like, do you know Viktor Frankl?
Oh, the guy in the concentration camp.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. He was a psychologist already before. Yeah, but so then he experienced the concentration camps. I think it was Auschwitz, right?
Yeah, Auschwitz or something like that.
And he survived. And then one of the insights he got was people who don't have a purpose in life, they'll distract themselves with pleasure.
Okay.
Because it must feel scary to have no purpose and then have no pleasure. Then it's like, oh shit.
So if you have pleasure, it's kind of like managing pain, you think, or suffering?
It could be, I think it could be used for that, but it could be used as a way to like to medicate yourself, sure. But I think also like if your purpose is clear and you do that, that also brings pleasure too.
Right.
But if you don't have some kind of purpose to fulfill, like if you don't see it in that moment, then you might think about like, okay, well, I need some pleasure to feel some kind of good feeling.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to sometimes maybe think long term, as a human. Like we evolved to like live in nature and stuff and
Right.
just live with
Yeah.
people and we are like I mean these days with the like economy and everything, like it's possible to be the master of your own, basically captain of your ship or something like that. But it's just we didn't evolve this way, so it's kind of sometimes maybe hard. Like that's why we think in the short term, oh, like feel good now and don't really think about tomorrow because tomorrow is not guaranteed, right?
I think us humans, we have so much like hardwiring from our like caveman ancestors, right? That it's still active in our bodies right now, but it's 2023. And we still have like some kind of like hunter-gatherer survival mechanisms.
Yes, go get that sugar,
Yeah, but the cool thing is that like
sugar.
the cool thing about the human being is that the human being can decide to rewire itself. And I think I guess that's like the next step of the human evolution. Like the human that realizes like, yeah, I have these like caveman like programmings, but I can intentionally uninstall them. And just start and just start with the easiest one. Start with whatever the easiest one is, and then work your way from there.
Right. What could be the easiest one?
I mean,
like an example.
you already do fasting, right? You've already done like 3-day fasting and stuff.
Yeah, I've done some fasting before.
It's like, can you imagine like a caveman, like a hunter-gatherer, like, oh, I'm gonna fast for 3 days and then hopefully I'll find some food after that.
I mean, they wouldn't do it on purpose, but it would always happen
Right.
out of necessity.
Right. The thing is, doing it on purpose is what is your superpower. That you can choose to do that.
Yeah, choose to do hard things
Yeah.
on purpose, like things that put stress in your body, but it makes you stronger. Like, okay, like fasting could be one case. Other cases like hot and cold exposure, right? Sauna,
True.
cold plunge. Then the third one's maybe like breathing exercises, Wim Hof breathing exercises, stuff like that. And
it's like it's like basically like choosing to do uncomfortable things on purpose.
Because the stress, it makes us stronger, actually. Yeah. So stress of exercise, stress of heat, stress of breathing like in and out, and fasting, those things actually make our body stronger and our minds too. So yeah.
So it seems like that is the advantage that us humans have. And humanity as a whole is still evolving. We're still in progress.
Right. And we can collaborate too. We can put 2 minds together, 3 minds together, and work towards a common goal. That's what really separates us from other species in the world.
For sure. Like what blocks people from this kind of evolution is when they believe like, yeah, I just can't do that. Just that belief alone already blocks you.
All right. Well, that's coming back to this chapter, other suggestions, right?
Right.
Things in your head just like popping up, and you believe them, right?
Like, bro, like imagine like if you could go into your mind and look at all of your beliefs that you have, like which ones would you want to delete and which ones would you keep? Would you make any new ones? Like this is the part that kind of intersects now with spirituality, because then it's like, okay, what are your beliefs? Like, what do you believe is reality? And how would it feel to question all of it?
Right. Reality based on your reference experiences. Just like in Tony Robbins, they talk about like your belief is like a table and the reference experience supports the table.
Nice.
So if you have this belief and this reference experience that supports the belief.
Nice.
To change a belief, you have to change the reference experiences.
Basically. Nice. Cool. I didn't know that one. That's cool.
So yeah, you could believe, like, instill a belief that you believe in yourself, basically. Not like, oh, you're a loser and you're support with some things you did when you were a fucking teenager or something. Like, it's not even relevant, right? But you can start having a more constructive belief, and and you can have close people around, like mastermind, again, the people that you can trust and talk about these things as well, and they can help you figure out.
That's cool, because like it looks like now this evolution now is also connected to mental health, because like let's say that you want to install this new belief that no, I'm someone who can make his dream life happen, right? And then your mind goes to like, hey, but look at all these times that you failed before, so aren't you actually a failure? And then like learning how to like forgive yourself and being nice to yourself about your past is so good for mental health. So in the end, it's like a super win. It's like a multiple win on so many levels.
Right. Nice.
So pretty much that's why I made this podcast, because like my passion is to find that intersection between spirituality, psychology, and self-development. So that's why we're here right now.
That's awesome. Putting it all together, and just contributing.
It's like, isn't it interesting that there's a consistent pattern between these things? Like isn't that something worth checking out?
Right. Well, there are definitely patterns and success patterns and failure patterns. And Napoleon
Mm,
Hill, again, he studied 25,000 people. So yeah, those are things that
right.
happened in the past, but they're still applicable in these days as well. So
Mm.
yes.
Yeah, right.
So
Maybe it's a good way to like find the rules to success. Like if you study everyone's who's failed, maybe like make a list of all those failures, like all the patterns, and then maybe the opposite of that is just like a good blueprint for success.
right. So again, one of the things was the in chapter 8, the decisions, like
Mm,
making decisions quickly and changing, if ever changing slowly. What do you
right.
think about that? Because in my case, I've definitely been indecisive about many things in my life,
Mm,
and it actually, yeah, you burn like mental energy about thinking about things too much instead of just boom, you just make a decision, go for it, and don't really change too much. What do you think
yeah.
about this? Because
Like
that's this test oriented person who can make decisions quickly, and yeah.
yeah, right. I feel like in my daily life, I usually make decisions quickly, but the last time I remember I made one really slowly was at work when we had to do an experiment with the kids. And then
Mm.
my AC asked me like so how do you want to do it? Like how do you want to do the experiment? And I didn't know. I was like, I don't know. And I felt so much
How
energy
did it
being
go?
wasted. Like, I don't know what to do. Yeah.
Uh,
But in some other stuff in my life, like in the stuff that I know what I want, then it's true. Like I'll make a decision to what I want. I'll see it through to the very end, and then it's clear if I should continue or adjust.
right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they basically said in book that basically the leaders in every walk of life decide quickly and firmly. So if you want to be a leader, you have to make a decision quickly and you know
And
go
that
for your
takes
decision.
faith.
Follow your. It takes faith
Yeah.
and yeah,
It takes faith that you have like in yourself that you have the ability to recognize what is the next best move to make, even though it might not be the best. Like maybe it won't take you exactly where you want, but it's the closest thing, and that you have faith that you know the next best move that you can possibly imagine.
right. Because the opposite of making decisions is not making decision, which
Right.
can because life is not. It doesn't go in the middle, right? It's either you go up or down. So if you don't make decisions, you're basically sliding down slowly but surely. So you
Yeah.
have to make this quickly, and it's like a muscle, right?
Mm.
Decision, like okay, you maybe make a decision, but maybe it was a wrong decision, but at least you made a decision and you
Yeah.
pursued action. At least you can learn on the way, and in the future, it's more likely you're gonna make better decisions because at least you're doing something. You're going towards your goal,
Mm.
and you have a plan. You have your mastermind. You can discuss the things together
Yeah.
in a safe environment.
I think some people would also say like try your best to be aware of like are your decisions coming from emotions or from I don't know, should we say logic?
Logic, emotions, or gut, maybe gut feeling.
Right. I go like I try my best to go with the gut feeling, but there's moments where the emotions kind of like camouflage itself. And
Mm.
I think that's my gut. So then I say, oh, hey, do that. That's gotta be it.
Mm.
And then I go do that and I just totally like screw shit up. Like that's happened before.
Mm.
This year happened to me so many times.
Nice. I mean, not nice.
It's nice
But
now, right? Like after you screw up so badly, you get so much awareness after, like so much more self-awareness afterwards. But in the moment, dude, it
right,
totally sucks.
it could definitely suck. Yeah. Well, you can get a lot of reference experience after that.
Yeah.
And yeah, yeah. Mm.
Yeah, I feel I have
Okay.
more faith in myself now than before because I've cleared up a lot of stuff that was just like incorrect in my thinking.
Right.
And
Yes.
I'm sure there's more left, so I'm still trying my best and like trying my best to go with my gut and then sometimes I'm correct, sometimes I'm not, but either way, it's a win situation at the end. Even though it might suck in the moment, but in the end, it's totally worth it.
Yeah, it's hard sometimes to differentiate between emotions, logic, and everything in the middle. And maybe also the sexual transition thing comes. Maybe you think with the other brain again, and you know what I mean. So it all goes together. But yeah, basically, you don't have to be afraid of making decisions and just try to become like a leader, you know, and yeah, take action and yeah, go for what you want. So
I guess we should become leaders like in our own lives to ourselves, huh?
Yeah, to ourselves, and also we can become leaders to others possibly as well. And yeah, but yeah, this chapter is pretty interesting because I've definitely been that type of person who's been pretty indecisive at points in my life, and it definitely has cost me a lot of maybe wasted time, energy, maybe even resources. So, and even now, I'm still thinking like sometimes about my future, like, hey, I want to do this or I want to do that, and I made my like specific plan, but there's also still things that I'm thinking about. Oh, maybe I should do this or should do that. But I guess we'll see because there's some things that are out of my control as well, and I just have to see what options are available when I can apply my plan. But at least I have a general idea of what I want in my head, and I have an idea what I like want in a few years. So yeah,
I think sometimes like when we're deciding what we want, like, and let's say that we've decided what that is, we should also ask ourselves, what is making me decide that? Like, why am I choosing that thing?
right.
There's usually like a hidden subconscious reason why we're choosing those things. So we should check like, why am I choosing that? What benefit am I getting from that?
Right. Well, could those decisions be based from the chapter 4 again, from love, sex, and fate, or chapter 3? Can those decisions be made mixed with those emotions? Right.
For sure, yeah. For sure. What was it again? Love, faith, and what?
Love, faith, and sex. They're the most powerful positive emotions humans can experience.
Wow. True.
Yes. Yes. And again, faith is the starting point, accumulation of riches.
Dude, faith feels so nice, man. Like I have more faith now than when I thought I was Catholic.
Yes, I'm also developing more faith after reading this book again.
That's good, man.
Because yes, I'm also not the most religious person.
Yeah,
I
and
believe in like power or something. So
and like we don't need,
maybe it's a simulation.
the cool thing is like we don't need religion to have faith. Like to have faith in ourselves. Let's say that. That's what's clear. Like if you do follow a religion, then like I think it's easier to get to feel the faith possibly. Like because you've been taught that, right, for so long. But for us, since we're not religious, like we're taking a different path, but we're still finding this faith. There's no story attached to it. There's no story about like a special leader that we worship or whatever, but there's still faith in something.
Right, right. Yes, yes, developing faith because it is important. You know, faith, everything else. So yeah.
Yeah. Any final thoughts, man? Got about a minute.
Let's see. So basically, from again chapter 8, once a decision is made, commit to it, and otherwise wavering can lead to failure. Yeah, so
Yes.
that's kind of interesting.
So you gotta find something worth committing to, right? If it's not
I
worth
guess
it,
so.
if it's not worth it, then you're obviously not gonna do it.
Yes. Yes. So again, start with desire. Everything starts with desire, faith, and yeah, just make a decision and act on it.
Nice.
Don't change your decisions so easily.
True, man. All right, bro. I'll see you next time.
Lesson for us as well. All right. See you.
Cheers, man.
All right. Peace.